something exciting for you today. You can see we have a guest with us today, Pastor Lisa, and we just want to talk with her a little bit. You know, when we first came down, Paul and I were thinking about this the other day. When we came down almost 22 years ago, you know, we had in our heart, and our vision statement was long then, but the gist of it and the heart of it was three things. We wanted to impact the family, we wanted to encourage racial diversity, and we wanted to impact our community. Is that right?
Embrace our community.
Embrace our community. And so that's always been our heart to do. And so for 5 years, you know, we just kind of didn't really have a big plan, didn't really, you know, impact the community that much. But all of a sudden one day a lady came to our church who had a ministry where she would go into some lower income neighborhood apartments, and she would, you know, pull out a blanket, put it on the ground, icy pops and stuff. And kids, before she got the table set, the blanket on the ground, there was kids coming out, and she met them, had a great ministry with that, and she would tell them Bible stories and stuff. And she was moving, and she said she'd been to 3 or 4 churches and asked them, would you guys be willing to take this ministry over as an outreach? And I said, let me pray about it. Yeah, we'll do it. I mean, do you really need to pray about something like that? Because we had it in our heart, and it was like somebody was handing us something that they had already begun. So we kind of took that over, and so for the next several years, we developed that, and it became something where people donated washing machines, dryers, lawnmowers, clothes. Yeah, David Maria. They were huge. Yeah,
a lot of people.
So we did that for a few years, and then we've had transitions in leadership and things, and then it just kind of, after several years, it just kind of fizzled out a little bit, and then I guess really it was through Maya at Andrews that through the backpack, she was teaching us. She was a teacher. We had the opportunity to help some kids that needed lunches and snack packs on the weekends, and so we started out with that. And Lisa kind of, with the youth, they kind of had that up, and some kids, and it kind of got up to be bigger. Then you started doing camps during the summer, shine camps and arts.
Let me interrupt. Just for maybe some of you who are new, Pastor Lisa, she's been with us 11 years. 11 years, and her and Pastor Rich were actually in Bible school together, and so we hired her on as
40 years ago. That's how old she is.
I was a child.
So we hired her as a youth pastor. She did a fabulous job, and but I know you felt just that there was a change, a transition.
Yeah, again, with the opportunity, again, there was outreach ministry. She kind of had her hands in it that way. And I just felt like they would making her an outreach pastor. So I talked with her about it, and I think it was something, you know, it was hard for Lisa at first, right? I mean, she had done youth ministry for 30 years.
Yeah.
And that was her heart, that was her passion, but I just saw a real open door here for this. And so we moved her to outreach, and I'm telling you, she got the vision for it, and I'm telling you, she took off with it. And we're going to share with you where it's grown from popsicles and backpacks for lunch to where it is today. It's a pretty amazing story.
Well, I think anybody who knows Pastor Lisa, and if you don't, get to know her, her heart is huge, and she just has a heart of compassion for everyone, everything, and you've always had in your heart, you know, to help people. But what was it like when that transition happened?
Well, the cool thing when you think about it, like I can look back over the years, and any youth ministry we've been involved in, we've always involved our students in outreach, and always letting them see that they have something to offer, that they have something to give. And so we would go on all these trips, and we were taking our students to Florida, or working with all the different kinds of people down there, and just their hearts were just overwhelmed with the love that they would feel for the people down there, and all the different places that we would go and see people doing things in incredible ways. And I, for probably 20 years, have been like keeping notes of, oh, this would be cool, you could have this and you could do that. And so just all along the way doing that. And then Pastor Rich one day said, well, what if you guys don't go away this year? What if you do something here? And so we did that first Shine Camp at Andrews, and we had about 150 students come. And we led that camp with our youth ministry, probably about 30 of our students that were the counselors and the leaders and all of that. we did all kinds of great stuff like, water day. And the second day, even just the meals were such a big treat for the kids. One of the little boys was next to me and he said, "What are we having for lunch today?" And I said, "Chick-fil-A." And he just threw his arms around my leg and said, "I've always wanted Chick-fil-A." And I was like, wow. So even,
right here in Burlington.
In Burlington, even just the things that we take for granted, to
Yeah.
think that for somebody that was so special. And at the end of the week, we did this video and we're asking kids, what was your favorite part of the camp? And almost every kid said, my leader. And that was our students. That was our kids that were leading. That was Hunter and Barrett and Daniel and Lauren and Denasia, all these students that were leading these kids. And you'd see them with kids on their shoulders and doing all this stuff and stepping out of their comfort zone completely, but just giving their all to really love all of them. So it was just an incredible experience. And not only did they fall in love with somebody, to have a memory of, but we've been able to see kids that we've known since they were in second grade that are now sophomores in high school. And we've got a couple of students that are graduating this year that we've known for years and years. And just to see their life change and develop. And now when we do those camps, our leaders are those students that were raised up and now continue in our ministry at the Dream Center. And now they're the ones doing all of those things and making such an impact on the world. So it's pretty incredible. I think when in the initial thought of stepping out of what has been my life, with serving with young people, and you said, I know you'll still be with young people. I know you'll still have teenagers in your life, but just to let go of something I love so much,
right.
and trust the Lord, trust His direction through you, to just say, okay. And even though I couldn't see what the end of that would be or what the future of that would be, I couldn't have dreamed of what it could become. Because I felt so much like I was right in doing what I was gifted to do. And God just wanted to expand that and to stretch me to see that there's more. I always love when you have an opportunity to see something in somebody and you can encourage them and give them an opportunity. And that's what you guys did. You saw, there's something, there's more.
Right.
This is great, but boy, there's even more. And so this has been an opportunity for that to happen. And in the season when that was so difficult, before we were really realizing where we were to go and what we were to do, just praying and just seeking the Lord and just being faithful, and being positive and just staying, having a good outlook on all of that and trust in my leadership and in what the Lord was doing. And I know you said, I don't want to just do some little thing on the side. I want us to really make a difference. And so praying about, where could that be? And the first time I went over to Andrews and met with the social worker there, Miss Bernie, she started telling us stories. And boy, I was just like, this is our place. This is where we need to be. And then we went around and drove around some neighborhoods. And some of the neighborhoods that we drove into are in lower conditions than I've been in other countries sometimes. And realizing, wow, there's such a need right here.
Right.
And I've been passing by these roads all this time and I haven't seen it, but I haven't been able to unsee it since then, because we've seen the people and where they're at and what the needs are. And it's not been hard at all to just love our community and grow in that love. And I know started bugging you guys like right after that, like, we can't just visit, we gotta live there and start looking for places over there. We had taken the youth group up to New Jersey and we gutted a house that had been flooded from a hurricane, and we were like, we can do anything. I pulled you guys through a really dilapidated house that had been flooded, and I'm like, but we can go in here, we can do this, and we could,
we're like, okay,
just anything, because I was like, the kids are right here, they could walk here. And but God blessed us with a building, and it was a great building for us. And even the first day, like, we looked at it and went, oh, there's a lot of work. And when we finally got the keys, we've been doing things with students, with the sixth graders all summer, and saying, okay, we're going to have a building, we're going to have a place. And it was in the works for several months. And I finally got the key the day before we were supposed to have our first meeting back with them. And so I'm walking in and cobwebs everywhere I'm going, and we're just clean, did everything we could, picked those kids up, probably had 20 kids that first day. And one of the little boys just sat on the front, and he goes, how did God ever love us so much to give us such a beautiful place? All I could see was, it needs some work, man.
Yeah.
But he thought it was beautiful, and it became beautiful. And the very day that we opened the doors to the community, we thought, well, it'll be an open house. People will come and go. We'll have it from, from 5 to whatever. We had like a 4-hour time period. And I thought, well, people come and then they'll go. Well, people came and they stayed. And hundreds of families were there just watching their kids, realizing they're in a safe environment. Mm-hmm. They're somewhere where people care about them. And that's just continued to grow. And then we started finding other groups in the community that also needed assistance in helping the community, or just loved what we were doing and wanted to help. And so just different people just started getting involved in what we were doing. And then even with that building, after a couple of years and things are going great and everything's working out so well and loving how it was looking and all those things. And we found black mold behind the mirror in one of the rooms and found out, well, we can't stay here. We got to get out. And 2 days later, I was being interviewed by a man, and he'd heard what we do with the Latinx community, and he just wanted to know more about it. And so we had this great conversation. At the end of the conversation, he said, I have a building on North Church Street that I've always wanted a church or community center in. It's big enough to play soccer in. Soccer, that's my dream, for us to have somewhere that the kids could play soccer in and that we could have a big facility. And we all went as a staff that next day and saw that building. And it was incredible, like just the possibility in that. I could see the possibility in that dilapidated house, but anybody could see the possibility in this giant building. Yeah. And we were up around the track and we're just kind of peering over, and I was standing next to you, and you just said, this is bigger than us. And yeah, it is. This is a place where we can really open up, where we can build a community and build partnerships.
We wanted to do something that was just bigger than CityGate Church, or then, of course, it was Word of Life, but getting different churches, different community leaders involved in it.
Yeah.
You said something back about kids getting involved, students and youth, and I just wanted to say this to you parents, that if you have children, or especially youth, get them, when we start back up, get them involved in the youth, because I'm telling you, not only does it impact their life, but our kids have been able to put on their resumes for jobs, for internships, for future employment, of all the things that, hey, we helped out in New York in Hurricane Sandy. We went down to the Vero Beach, and they have not just written, but they have life experience. And so that's so cool that they are. So get your kids involved in that. And also, when you talked about the change that happened, I think right now there is a lot of change that's happening, and it's not comfortable, it's not pleasant, but it's like you said, when we put our trust in God and we're faithful to what He said, or maybe even to leadership that there's been a shift of something like, this is not where I want to be. You got to put your trust in God, because He sees the bigger picture. Yeah. We can just see where right here.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of a little bit of how sometimes when a church starts a Christian school, they start with a certain amount of grades, and then every year they try to go up from that. And that's kind of what we did with Andrews. And then those Andrews kids became middle school kids. And so the ministry kind of embraced the middle school ministry, and those middle school kids went into high school, and you went up with that and began to embrace those. And now a lot of times you've got it with some of those leaders that you've raised up leaders in the high school ministry, and they're being leaders in their own community to the middle school kids. That's amazing.
It really is. And even other people that just have a heart for the community that have been able to come alongside of us and be a part of all that. And it's funny, I was having a conversation with Ronnie and Angie a few weeks ago, and Angie's been able to be involved in the food distribution, and Ronnie too. And Ronnie's, of course, involved with all our student programs and everything too. And she said, Pastor Lisa, did you ever think it could ever be this big? And I said, yes. Yes, I did. And Ronnie said, "Oh, Pastor Lisa, she's been planning this a long time." I said everywhere she'd take us with the youth group, she'd go, "Oh, we could do that. We could do that." And here we are. You look around, and we're doing it. We're doing all that. So it's bigger than what we can dream of even right now. What's happening?
Yeah, with COVID-19, everything's kind of been shut down right now. But before that and coming after that, we'll get back to it. But talk just a little bit about the high school ministry and the junior high ministry on the two different nights.
Okay, so we have on Tuesday night a middle school ministry, and it's called SPIN, and that stands for Supportive, Positive, Inclusive, and New. So we're trying to just create a great environment that's positive. The new part is if you had a bad day at school, how many of you ever had a bad day at school? And you just need a new chance. So we're not going to carry over something from last week or a reputation about you, but we just want to give everybody a new opportunity. So we're bringing kids in, all kinds of different students, and they're not really, a lot of them don't participate in church services anywhere. So that's different for them. So we're not really having church with them. We're just loving them. We're having a great meal together with them. I would tell people sometimes, you can't take somebody zero to church, 0 to 60. You can't take somebody just like that, but I can take them from 0 to Jesus. I can love them. I can be an example for them. I can be an encouragement for them. And we have all kinds of kids from all different kinds of backgrounds that come. And then on that group got too large. We were having about 100 students every week. So we began doing high school on Wednesday night, and we call that RES, and that stands for Resilient, Resourceful, Responsible, and Respectful. And we feel if we build on that foundation from SPIN, and they can become all of those things, and they're going to really have a long, great career ahead of them, and the dreams in their heart that they can succeed. So do a lot of leadership things with them, a lot of fun with them too, but just give them a lot of opportunities. And then we also start an after-school program on Mondays, and we hope that that'll grow too. And that actually came from one of our babysitters from Elon that helps with the child care during the ESL classes. She had a heart to do that, and she actually changed her major. She was a marketing major, but just by working at the Dream Center doing child care during ESL, she decided, no, I'm going to go into early childhood development.
Wow.
That's cool.
And so she changed the course of her life, and then she started helping and volunteering and putting that program together. And then ACC does English classes 3 days a week, computer classes sometimes. We have all different kinds of people that are a part of what we're doing. We do a lot with the Latinx community and celebrating being a safe environment for them, and just showing that we care about all different kinds of people. So it's been a really awesome thing. We have a couple Latin dance groups that meet there, and more things than I can probably think of, and it's just the beginning. We got this year a grant to be able to transform one of our rooms into a conference room, and to buy computers to have an ongoing computer lab. So some kids don't have Wi-Fi at home, or they don't have access to great equipment. So it's hard for them to maybe have the same project to present if they don't have those tools. So we can provide those for them.
So when everything shut down, and what happened where the meal distribution, for those of you who don't know, every Thursday we provide hot meal. It's free from 5 to 7, right? 5 to 7.
Yeah.
I get that a little.
It's getting earlier all the time.
I know. 5 to 7, and people, no questions asked. They just drive through, and there's a whole procedure that they go through. But how did that happen? I mean, it wasn't something that you thought about.
So we usually, the students that come would get a meal with us. So I was concerned even for them not having that meal at home. So we thought, well, at least let the people know they're usually a part of this. So probably 300 families maybe represented to say, hey, we're going to be doing this. And I have been watching the LA Dream Center, and a few weeks before we started doing this, they started doing this, and they actually were doing it like all day, every day, and passing out these meals, and they had a drive-through thing, and I was like, oh, we could do that. We could do that, and if we moved into the front part of the building that we don't usually use, and we could do all this. So I had kind of an idea of what that could look like, got some people together, Andrew and Maya, and Ronnie and Bernard, and then my friend Jasmine from Cone Health, and they do a lot of things with us, like Zumba classes and diabetes prevention, and she's a great partner with us. So we met together and said, well, how could we do this? And at the same time, I got notified that we got a $10,000 anonymous donation, that somebody that just wanted to give us money to help with COVID-19 response. So we're like, okay, well, we can start.
Yeah.
So that first week, 511 people came, and that was without really even putting the word out. And we were prepared for 300, but we, ordered more food, got it all out there. The next week it was 1,000 people, and we now, this last one was 1,657 meals that we were able to distribute, over 9,000 meals in the last 8 weeks.
That's 9,000 meals, guys. That's a lot.
And started applying for grants, and then getting other grants, and then getting more from, we even got another anonymous donation, and we've gotten over $86,000 in the last 8 weeks.
And there's no way that we
us.
could have done that
We
as a
couldn't.
church. It was bigger than us.
It was.
And God has really just sent in resources.
Tell us about people in the community that have come to our aid and just jumped in. I mean, when we're serving, there's a good percentage of CityGate people, but a lot of it is community.
Absolutely. The other cool thing that we've been able to do is to not, we can't make that kind of food for people. And there are restaurants that are struggling too with all of this,
Right.
all these changes. So we've been able to use the money that's donated to purchase food from restaurants that ordinarily wouldn't have a lot of business. So it's helping them. We even buy the food that we give out from smaller little stores around in the area, and then we're able to give it away. So it's paying twice almost
Right.
to help
That's so
people.
cool.
And we probably have about 40 volunteers every week, and it's from almost every different organization that you can think of, city officials that are there, people from a lot of different nonprofits. There'll be the president of the nonprofit there every week with us, and just all these different people.
Chief of police,
the chief
the
of
mayor.
police, yeah. All these different people. And what is such a beautiful thing is they've known about us for a long time, but now they really know us. They know our heart. They know what we're doing. And now there are things happening in meetings that I'm not a part of, where they're saying, oh, the Dream Center would be the perfect place for that. There was a meeting like that, and they decided, oh, we need to have a diaper distribution. Well, we started a small one with the health department and with Cone. So they were doing an online baby shower, and people could purchase diapers, and they were giving them away. And I've been going for a few weeks. Well, at this meeting I wasn't even at, they said, well, the Dream Center could be the diaper bank for North Carolina. So the diaper bank from North Carolina started distributing through us. So now every week we get to give away diapers and feminine products and all these things to people for free. And that'll continue to go on. And that wasn't even something. And then to even get started with that, we needed $10,000. But someone else provided that money. In fact, Alamance said, well, we'll give them money to do that. And so all these things, and even things that you hope, like when we were first looking at that, the first day we walked into that building, I went home and I wrote all these things. They were like prayers, our purpose, and what we wanted to do, and things that I would hope that we could become. And now I hear people calling me from organizations saying, well, you are the this and this and this. Mm-hmm. Well, we know that you guys are this and this and this, like the things that we dreamed that we could become. It's not us saying, hey, we're going to be this. It's someone else saying, we see it. We see what you're doing. And the kids that we've made able to love, and the families. And so it's just been an incredible, incredible thing. Actually, there's some really awesome people that have been a part of what we're doing. If you look on our Facebook for CityGate Dream Center, we try to do a Facebook Live every week. But we've done some interviews with some people from the community, and that are really awesome. So we want to show you a couple of those videos. You're going to get to hear from the mayor of Burlington and the chief of police, and also from Heidi, who's the president of United Way. Sorry.
Watch this.
All right, I have Chief Smythe here with me from the Burlington Police Department. We're so grateful for you and so glad that you're here. What do you love about the Dream Center?
So that's you probably don't have enough time for me to tell you all the things that I love about the Dream Center, so I'll boil that down, right? So I think that the leadership, the folks that run the Dream Center have the biggest hearts in the world. They are here for all the right reasons, doing all the right things to really benefit the community, right? We are in a part of Burlington that's at risk, right? And by that, I mean there are a high number of kids in single-parent households living at or below the poverty line, a lack of role models, a need for education, and the Dream Center provides a safe environment for those kids to come and interact with caring, loving adults who help with their education, who help with meal planning and prep and food delivery, athletic endeavors, all sorts of things are going on here. Computer lab, classes, training, parent training, youth training. You just can't meet the expectations of these youth in any better way than the Dream Center. This place is absolutely amazing. I just went inside, saw the new soccer field. I play soccer, right? That's my thing. I've been playing soccer since I was in 3rd grade.
Awesome.
And the league that I'm in for indoor, there's a couple of Hispanic teams, and it gives me a great platform to connect as people, right? Because people are like, oh, that's the police chief. You know, he's a cop. Man, I'm a person. I happen to wear a uniform. But this place is changing lives every single day. And my officers are here regularly, and you know the folks that are here. I'm so happy that we can be involved. Dream Center's amazing.
Wow. Thank you so much. Just blown away by those words. Thank you.
You guys rock it. I'm humbled to be a part of anything that you do here. It's amazing. So keep up all the great work.
All right, well, I have Ian Tunis here with me, the mayor of Burlington. We're so just glad to have him here with us and excited about our partnership. I just want to ask you, Ian, what do you love about Burlington?
What I love about Burlington is the strength of our community. So all the people that make up our community and how much they really care about the city and about their friends and neighbors. And I think what's happening here today, and it's been going on for a couple weeks now, is really a testament to that.
That's awesome. And maybe for somebody that has never experienced the Dream Center before, they don't know what it is, what would you like to tell them?
I'd like to share that the Dream Center is an amazing reuse of what would otherwise just be a generic industrial building, and to see the life that has been brought back to it as a recreational resource normally, as a way for the community to gather and share their culture and the community. But now in this time of crisis, for it to become a feeding program and a true community resource to help people with whatever their needs are. Like today, we've got free diapers, we've got hot meals, we've got flowers for moms out there to help them have a wonderful Mother's Day. It's truly wonderful to see how this building has morphed to meet the needs of the community around it.
Oh, that is so awesome. Those are amazing words. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
My name is Heidi Norwich, and I'm the president of United Way of Alamance County.
Hey Heidi, so what has been your experience here today?
It's been phenomenal. You know, United Way does so much to help organizations in the community, but when I can get out in the community and be hands-on, it means so much. And to see the love that's here and the overpouring of support from the community to help people that need food, it's just incredible.
That is so awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Maybe people that have never experienced the Dream Center, just something that you would like them to know?
Yeah, you know, when Pastor Lisa and the church had the vision a couple of years ago, I could never imagine what this would turn out to be, and it's just incredible. I invite anybody to come down, visit, see what happens here every day, and the miracle that it is for East Burlington. We're truly blessed.
That is so awesome. Thanks so much, Heidi.
You're welcome.
Wasn't it great? It's so good to see people in our community supporting the dream that God has given us. And you know, you guys are a part of this. Every one of you who attends CityGate, you may think, well, man, I can't get down there, or I work, or I'm not able to during this time. You know what? By your faithful giving, by your tithes and offerings, we support the Dream Center. I mean, we have a large chunk that we give on a monthly basis that's shown into, and it has from the very beginning. Right. So you have a part in this, and by your prayers and by your faithful giving, that you have as much a part of this as people who are handing out meals or diapers or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Amen.
And it's awesome to know that, and so many people that come by, and I get to give a tour of the building, and they go, "And your church pays for this?" They're a primary source of income. Yes, that's who supports us and underwrites everything that we do. And thankfully, we have other groups now that are seeing what we're doing and wanting to help and be a part of it. It's cool, even like with that $10,000 that we started with for the meal distribution. Felt like we just need to be generous. We need to, give the best that we have. And the scripture that really came to mind when we picked up our first truckload from God's Pit Crew that week. They gave us 3 times the amount that we usually have, and just the abundance of that. Luke 6:38 says, "Give and you will receive. Your gift will return to you in full, pressed down, shaken together to make room for more, running over and poured into your lap. The amount that you give will determine the amount you get back." And that's what we're just seeing happen.
Yes.
That you guys have been so faithful for all of this time when no one else was seeing. Our church has been sowing in the community and loving people and making the sacrifice to make this happen. And now it's just multiplying and multiplying, and it's just been incredible. Didn't you have something vision or something that someone had given you guys about?
About the popcorn?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. A friend of ours years back said, I see CityGate, and you may remember it better but it's like a movie popcorn. It just started pop, and then it just how a movie theater, it's just like the whole bin begins to fill up. And she said, that's how I see, I think it was Word of Life at the time, CityGate. And when I was thinking about the Dream Center and just the cars that just keep coming in and just being able to minister to the people, I thought, you know what?
That's our popcorn.
That's our popcorn. This is our popcorn. I mean, it's like just started a little bit, and then and it just began to fill. I'm like, wow, God, however you want to do it.
Amen.
And God's got great things for not just for CityGate, for each and every one of you. You may think, wow, what God's put in my heart is just too big. It's bigger than me. Well, that's good because God doesn't want us to rely on our own ability and our own thoughts and how we're going to work it out. But man, just trust God. Trust God. Be faithful to Him. Be a giver, and watch God work in your lives.
It's faithful, isn't he? So faithful.
He is.
Listen, if you haven't been down to the Dream Center and you go to this church, you owe it to yourself. You should go down there and just see it. If nothing else, go see the new soccer field. It's the best. It's the best around here. I think, Lisa, you correct me if I'm wrong, but the people who put that in are the same people who put in the field at the Dallas Cowboy Stadium.
That's right.
So this was. To have a crew like that come in and put this in, they did a phenomenal job. It is the finest indoor soccer rink around here that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's
And that's
incredible.
part of CityGate, guys.
Yeah.
You had a part in it. So, do you have any other
I
last?
just wanted just a couple of things. I know one of the families, when they were delivering the food to the car, there was a father that was driving the car. I think it was maybe the first week that we were doing it, and he started to cry. He said, I didn't know what I was going to feed my kids tonight. And I was driving down the street and I saw this line and I just got on it. And
that's awesome.
And we were able to give them great hot meals and all these things for all of them. And then one of the restaurant owners, we were talking with them, and Lauren was with me. She primarily, the restaurant owner speaks Spanish, so we've been limited in what she's been able to, tell me as we've interacted. But she was able to tell Lauren that day. She said, we didn't know what we were going to do. We've only been in business a year, and we don't have a big clientele, and until you guys started making those orders weekly, we wouldn't have made it if it wasn't, for what you guys are doing. And I think for all of us, we don't realize what the one thing, maybe you just paying it forward to someone one way or doing something, going out of your way with kindness. You don't know the impact that you can have on somebody, and just being sensitive to the Holy Spirit and what He's telling you, and being and responding to Him. So that's how we're able to do what we're doing, because so many different people are just being sensitive and letting God use them.